Welcome to another episode of the Friday Podcast with me, your host, Chris Chaos. Yeah. It's a track I made back in the day called Get Loose. Yo, got around the street like this one hanging out my polo. Feel free to take a photo. For flicks. High your nose on a mic guy and hit bricks. I splash into the ocean after dives and flips. Young flipper like that one super dolphin kid. I'm the underdog, but now I'm flying super high. Got a bad chick on speed dial all the fucking time. I need a freak, I need a sweet, I need a mic, I need a beat, I need to sleep, I need to eat. I don't need you all up on my meat. Run the streets like soccer kids with you under our fleece. The middle finger and trigger finger cancel out and make peace. I love to make love to them damn love freaks. Oh, feel free to get, feel free to get loose, feel free to get loose, feel free to get loose, get loose, round. Alright, yo, that was the intro track for today. Be sure to check out the entire track, Get Loose, on SoundCloud at Chris Chaos, or if you want to do the old school, like if you're old like me and you the ones go to URL and you just go soundcloud.com/Chris_Benitez_7. Alright. So I'm late. This is supposed to be on a Friday podcast for a reason, because usually I do it on Fridays. But right now is Moon Day, because if you don't know, Monday is named after the moon. Moon Day. The 10th of August, right? The month of infinity. The 8. Turn that 8 sideways, and that's an infinity sign. So if you were here last week, y'all know I was going over some things about the show called Timeless, that deals with history, that deals with time travel, that deals with Illuminati, conspiracies. And it's a series that I actually watched with my son previously when it was new. It's 2 seasons and a 1 hour or a 2 hour series finale, something like that. That was actually brought back because of the fans. The second season was by fans' demand, and then that finale was done by fans' demand, but they kept wanting to cancel it, and for reasons, you know. So let's see. Last time I covered Timeless season 1, episode 2. Today is episode 3. And it's entitled Atomic City, right? And if you don't know, Vegas used to be called the Atomic City because on the outskirts of Vegas, they used to do a lot of bomb testing, right? And so people would go there and look at it and shit, and supposedly it was safe and stuff. So in this episode, it starts off in 1962, where you see John F. Kennedy and Judith Campbell. Now, Judith Campbell should be taught in history books. She's a very important individual during that time period. She was one of the connections for JFK to the Mafia, specifically the Chicago outfit. Her name is Judith Campbell Exner, which Campbell she got from her first husband, Exner she got from her second husband. She was born on 1/11/1934. She died 9/24/1999. If you're into numbers, like I am, angel numbers and whatnot, you might find her birthday kind of interesting. She starts on 111, ends 999, and then you have 934. Is that what that is? Yeah, she was born in 1934. 934, and then you have 924, and then you have these 2 1s. So I don't know. She's a special individual. It's just that could be just a coincidence about her date, or maybe she was born to play the role in American history that she did. And it's unfair because she's not taught about that much. So a little bit, she was the mistress of John F. Kennedy, as well as Mafia leaders Sam Giancana and John Rosselli. She's of Irish/German descent, born in New Jersey. And in synchronicity with Jersey, if you're a fan of Joey Diaz, we now know that he's moving back to Jersey. And 45 had a speech in New Jersey on Saturday, Infinity Day, 8/8, where he signed 4 executive orders. So that's just, for some reason, there was a synchronicity in New Jersey in my research. She moved to Los Angeles as a child. In 1952, at 18 years old, she was married to actor William Campbell. She divorced him in 1958, 6 years later. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. She was 24 years old. All right. So before I started talking about her birth of place and shit, let's talk about Sam Giancana. Italian, born May 24th, 1908. He died in 75. Nothing special about his birthday with the numbers. Something interesting about him, Marilyn Monroe spent her last night alive with this dude. He was the boss of the Chicago outfit from 1957 to 1966. Born in Chicago, Chi-Town, to immigrants. And then as a teenager, he joined the 42 gang, which was a teenage street gang in Chicago. As a teen, he developed the reputation and organized, because I just wrote rep. He developed the rep in organized crime, which brought him notice from Chicago outfit leaders. In the late 30s, Giancana joined the Chicago outfit. From the 40s to the 50s, he controlled illegal gambling, illegal liquor distribution, and political rackets in Louisiana. Shout out to Theo Von, get that hitter. In the early 1940s, Giancana was involved in Chicago's African-American lottery payout system for the outfit. I didn't do much. I'm sure he took some money that he shouldn't have took. In 1957, Giancana became boss of the Chicago outfit. Sam Momo Giancana had built a reputation as a skilled wheelman under pressure. He became the first member of the 42 to join the outfit. So the 42 gang existed and worked with and for Capone and the other Chicago mob bosses. But Capone never wanted to bring them into the Mafia because they were too reckless. But Giancana showed the outfit that he... and after that, the 42 gang became like a funnel into the Chicago outfit. Shout out to Chicago. A lot of shit's going on in Chicago right now. And Chicago's always been an important city in crime and history and politics. So let's see. So Concada. That's one of those bugs that sound like a snake. Giancana worked with the CIA to try to assassinate Castro. And this is not a secret. This was in released documents. But I believe the next person that we are going to discuss. John Handsome Johnny Rosselli was born Filippo Sacco. So you see why he changed his name to John Rosselli, right? He was born on the 4th of July, 1905. He died on August 9th, 1976, which the anniversary of his death was yesterday, 2020, 1976. That's 10/4. Yo, I don't know. I'm not gonna do math. I'm too high for this shit. And wait, I could just do it on the calculator. Because this was literally, talk about synchronicities, okay? In this book I'm reading about dolphins, ETs, and angels, it says something about synchronicities, I hope. Basically, something he says that anytime you pick up a book, anytime you read something, it's for a reason. The universe wanted that to happen. And it's a heavy book. I'm still slow. Influential mobster for the Chicago outfit to help that organization control Hollywood. Shout out to Hollywood. And the Vegas Strip. In the 60s, he was recruited by CIA to plot to kill Castro. He was born in Italy. Some people thought that Al Capone and Frank Nitti sent him west to oversee the outfit's business interests and that the racing wire and movie extortion scheme. But really, he started LA crime with Jack Dragna. In '56, he became the Chicago and LA mob's chief rep in Vegas. According to the Family Jewels documents released in 2007, shout out to 07, which apparently a lot of documents were released. Well, that document was the Family Jewels document. You can look it up on, I wrote it down later, but it's on CIA.gov. And another site, just look it up, Family Jewels document. Members of the American Mafia were involved in a CIA attempt to assassinate Castro. The reason the Mafia wanted to assassinate Castro is because he closed down a lot of all their casinos and shit in Cuba. So what they did was they gave him like some poison or some shit, and one of his people over there were supposed to do it, but they failed. In 1963, Frank Sinatra, which I didn't take a picture of because most people know what Frank Sinatra looks like. He sponsored Roselli for membership in the exclusive LA Friars Club. Now, I'm not sure what the Friars Club is, but I can look that up real quick because I got my laptop because I'm recording from my phone. Shout out to CC for giving me the advice and all the advice and constructive criticism. The Friar is a brother and member of one of the Medici orders founded in the 12th or 13th century. Well, these all dudes look like monks. Let me see. LA Friars Club. It's gonna be Friars Club of Beverly Hills. Their building was demolished, apparently. Private show business club started in 1947 by Milton Berry, along with other celebrities who had moved from New York. It was forced to change its name in 2007 after losing a lawsuit with the New York Friars Club and later closed. Its building, designed by modern architect Sidney Eisenstadt, was demolished in 2011. Frank Sinatra, Billy Crystal, Sammy Davis Jr., Bob Hope, Judy Garland, Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin. From the summer of 62 to 66, John Roselli and others rigged high-stake gin and rummy games at the Friars Club. So this is why he gets kicked out of the Friars Club. He rigged it. He made a lot of money. So the Friars Club was just celebrities and shit. And Sinatra got this Mafia dude into it. In the 70s, one June 24th and on September 22nd, 1975, Roselli testified before the 1975 U.S. Senate Select Committee Intelligence about the CIA's plan to kill Castro, Operation Mongoose. Shout out to the people who had a mongoose like I did with in the back of the day. You know, I'm talking about a little BMX. I couldn't really do no tricks, but mongoose. Shortly before Roselli testified, an unknown person shot and killed Giancana in his basement days before he was going to testify. So the day before Roselli testifies, because of Operation Mongoose, this dude gets murdered in his own basement. And in on 8/9, August 9th, 76, as we discussed, he was found decomposing by a fisherman in Miami. You live a life like this. You live, you die by the sword. Now, I will get back to Judith Campbell, this very interesting lady. She did not die in such a horrid way because she did not live in such a horrid way. She didn't live a horror way either. You know, she didn't sleep with everybody, but she slept with a couple people. She was a spy. This is like Mr. and Mrs. Smith right here, legit. Back to her. She was described as stunningly beautiful by the media, claims an 18-month relationship with then Senator JFK, beginning in 1960, which continued after he became el presidente de los Estados Unidos. And as many know, because of, even before The Irishman came out, but many know that John F. Kennedy got into office because of the Mafia, with the help of the Mafia. And his father was very connected. But then after a while, his brother started going after the Mafia. And so in The Irishman, they claimed that the Mafia killed Kennedy. They might have. Frank Sinatra introduced Judith Campbell to John F. Kennedy. So Frank Sinatra, the famous singer, so she knew Frank Sinatra first. Later on, pretty soon we're gonna discuss how Frank Sinatra it almost seemed like the way that the government made it seem, the way George Bush, who was the leader of the CIA at the time, made it seem that Sinatra begged to be part of the CIA, that he really wanted to help them for some reason, which I couldn't really find a real reason why. Like, it'll probably come out later on or something. Or we may never know. It could be a mystery, like why. But, as we know now, the CIA probably had some dirt on Sinatra, and so they just used him. But apparently he wanted to be used for to meet with royalty, and because he was meeting with the Prince of Saudi Arabia and people in England and shit. But they just had him connecting Mafia people. And I think because, with white supremacy, white supremacists see themselves higher than even Italians. Those kind of white people aren't the same white people according to them. So it just makes sense that the American government, especially George Bush and the CIA, I think that's George H.W. They're not gonna let him do what he wants to do, but they might let him do a little shit, kind of to disrespect him in a way. But I feel like they probably had some dirt on him. Let me take a hit of this. So, that's a lot of people right there that are connected. Sinatra, John F. Kennedy, two mob bosses. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a quick break. Let's see what this drinks. But as you can see, today I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking some Americano. Americano. Born and raised. Pero mi papá es de Durango. Gómez Palacio. Shout out to that Scorpion. Shout out to Durango. Shout out to Gómez Palacio. Shout out to Torreón, Coahuila. Shout out to Monterrey. Shout out to the entirety of Mexico. Shout out to everybody, my family in the United States.
I don't think I got any Canadian bacon cousins, but maybe. Shout out to those. I know I got family in Spain. Man, shout out to the whole fucking earth, man. Shout out to the whole fucking hollow earth, man. Alright. Back to Judith Campbell. Special woman in history today that we are discussing today. So, this account that Frank Sinatra introduced her to JFK on February 7th, 1960. Shout out to Aquarius. This account was supported by phone records and other documents, but of course the JFK staff attacked her veracity when she published her memoir. I'm gonna burn some Palo Santo for this dope ass one. Let's continue. A few months later, in 1960, Sinatra introduced her to Giancana. Look at Sinatra. Look at him being a little, CIA Cupid over here. So not long after she became involved with Giancana, she became involved with Rosselli. So I don't think she really was in love with these two mafia dudes. Later on, she says that she was in love with Kennedy, and that was like her only mistake in life, or her main mistake in life was to fall in love with a married man, she says. Not to be a spy, not to do what she did, not to end up being, she's an American hero in a way, but she just did what she did. Somebody was gonna do it, and she was good at it. But whenever she came out and told the truth about her relationship, the public kind of vilified her at first. So shout out to Timeless for doing an episode with her as one of the main characters. Each episode they go in a different time period in history. There's an episode later on that goes into Bonnie and Clyde. There's an episode later that goes into Hitler. That's actually next week we're going to talk about. I'm looking at the clipboard that I have up here. It's about Nazi Germany, World War II. So look forward to that. Hopefully I'll be back on track on Fridays. I'm going back to physical work on Friday, I think. So, but we'll see. But I'm gonna continue. Shout out, please like, subscribe, share. Let me see. In 88, she claimed she was JFK's link to Mafia. 1988, she did that, it was an interview. Was used by JFK to send money to Sam Flood, aka Giancana. This dude had all kinds of names, just like me. Giancana, Sam Flood, Chris B, Chris Chaos, Cannabis Chris, Conspiracy Chris, Chicano Chris. I'm Chicano. So Sinatra. Let's talk about Sinatra. Okay, so Sinatra is connecting everybody together. And we know him as a famous musician in the Rat Pack. We know him as a Mob Connect. So, on August 22nd of 2007, a document was released, and you can find it on CIA.gov. The actual publication date is from April 15, 1976. And it's a document that says that Frank Sinatra volunteered his services to the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. And it's like a compilation of articles. So it says that the Globe said, the Globe as, it's like a media outlet. During the gathering, Sinatra stressed, during the gathering with him in the CIA, he stressed that he is often in the company of the Shah of Iran, that's who it was, not Saudi Arabia, and dined with Prince Philip of England. He wanted to put those contacts to work for the good of the U.S. Okay. It continues and says, at one point, George Bush answered Sinatra by suggesting in a humorous fashion, there is some special work you could do for us in Australia. Sinatra and the other persons in the room laughed at the reference to the singer's publicized troubles in Australia a few years ago while on tour. I looked up what happened in Australia. It was, and it's actually a government website that there was a blog. It's called Prologue, prologue.blogs.archives.gov. And it's a blog about Sinatra's Australian tour in 1974. Basically, he got there. He didn't want to do any interviews with the press, so the press didn't have any new material, so they started publishing shit about his mob ties, about the women he slept with. They didn't want to let him leave because he was so disrespectful to the Australian people, like the people on the plane. They were Australian, so they're like, fuck Sinatra, this dude ain't leaving. Interestingly enough, he did go back to Australia in 88, 89, and 91. 89 connects to me because I was born in 89. 91 connects to me because my sister was born in 91, one of my sisters. So The Guardian, and I found this online, oh wait, let me go back. So, another article on the CIA.gov, it says Frank Sinatra and the Dead Issue. Washington Post. So it's an article that, it's like, okay, so this is an article from the Washington Post that was clipped out, and somebody from the CIA underlined a line because it says, what about the CIA? And archived it. So in the Washington Post on January 29th, 1985, said that some journalists thought Sinatra said they were all, because Sinatra said this weird thing during the inauguration weekend for Reagan. And they interviewed him, and he said something about, every one of you are dead. You're all dead because of, and some people were like, oh, it's because of Ronald Reagan's Star Wars, which I need to look up because I'm not sure what that is. I remember hearing about it, Ronald Reagan's Star Wars program. Some thought he was referring to Reagan wanting everyone dead, but a man named Sam Donaldson said that Reagan doesn't want everyone dead. He talks to him daily. This is where it gets interesting. Then another reporter asked, what about the CIA? And that is underlined in the article from the archives from the CIA.gov. No one knows who they want dead and who they don't want, the reporter mused, as in a funny rhetorical answer. So I don't know if the CIA liked that, didn't like it, but they I think anytime that they're talked about or mentioned, they have to like file them. Another article, or not article, but release document on CIA.gov was from Boston Globe, April 15, 1976. Frank Sinatra volunteered his services at CIA directly to Director George Bush about 8 weeks ago, according to Bush's brother, Jonathan Bush, which I'm guessing is W's uncle. And the same one, it says Baltimore Sun, basically pushes the same article the very next day. So they want the public to know that Sinatra's the one that offered his services to them, that he desperately wanted to work for the CIA. Which is weird, but that's the narrative that they put out there. So on October 6, 2000, the singer's daughter, this is an article about the singer's daughter. October 6th, the year 2000, from The Guardian. And they found that online. Sinatra was the go-between for Mafia and JFK. I wrote really fast. The singer's daughter reveals how old Blue Eyes worked for the Kennedys, the mob, and the CIA. He was chosen by Kennedy because of his connects to Giancana. They were all linked to Judith Campbell Exner. Sinatra said that contact with underworld elements was all a part of the entertainment industry. Okay. Let me say that again. Frank Sinatra said contact with underworld elements. You know what this means, right? was all a part of the entertainment industry. Still is today, most of it, but there's a great awakening happening right now. His daughter said that he would transport live persons, like because he had control of his own plane. He wouldn't bring dead bodies, she said, but he would take like a person. Anybody, he would smuggle people if they wanted him to. So that's Sinatra. All right. At the end of Judith's life, her long lost son comes back, and she says to a reporter that her main regret was falling in love with the married man. So she had her son at the end of her life. She, when John F. Kennedy died, she went into a deep, deep depression. She got pregnant and she gave away her son. And that son came back into her life right before she died. So thankfully, I believe that Judith Campbell had a peaceful end of her life, and I hope she died knowing that, I mean, she did some important shit. You know, I don't know if it was for her own benefit. You know, most of us do shit for our own benefit. But it's interesting to me, you know? Okay, so now before I get into the crystal of the week, which is gypsum, I want to focus on the, look at my face as a gypsum. Look at my face as a gypsum. Look at my face. Look at my face. Look at my face as a gypsum. Okay, so the whole reason they went to Vegas, Garcia Flynn, the villain in Timeless, goes to Vegas in 1962 to get Judith Campbell to help him get into a military base to get a Christie pit. Now, Christie pit is the core of an atomic implosive bomb. And it was made by Robert F. Christie, born in 1916, died in 2012. In 1944, he designed the Christie pit, allowing for a solid core of plutonium to be used in the implosion-type atomic bomb. Okay? In 1946, he lived with Edward Teller, who I'm not sure is, but he becomes important later, while working at the University of Chicago. Chicago. Coincidence. Synchronicity. Chicago. Okay, I got this. Oh shit. Okay, in 1954, he refuses to shake that same guy who used to be his roommate, Edward Teller. Maybe they were fuck buddies. He refuses to shake his hand after Teller was a teller and testified in the Oppenheimer? Yeah, Oppenheimer security hearing. Okay. So this one episode in the episode that you watch, they don't talk about any of this shit that I'm talking about. They just show the action, the humor. They show cool parts, right? And I'm going into the historical, like, who are all these people? What did they actually do? What kind of people were they? I mean, you know, these guys, you kind of know what Mafia types were. She was an interesting person. And the scientist, who I didn't print out a picture. But what interested me about him was that he was a teacher assistant. He got his degree, he was going to be a teacher, but he couldn't because he had to pay bills. So he had to stay being a teacher assistant, which I found interesting because I'm a teacher assistant as well. So the Oppenheimer security hearing, that's like another string that I found when I go from this to this, and it takes me to this. The United States Atomic Energy Commission. Hold on, I need to take a hit. This shit is heavy, y'all. What should I hit? Let me take another little swig of this right here. You know what I'm saying? Might as well finish it for y'all. It's good, y'all. Sticky like that lean. I used to sip lean, but real lean is fucking poison, bro. Alright. Boom! Let's top that off with a cherry and one more track, real quick. I feel good, y'all. I feel like this is a good episode. I'm sending positive vibes and frequencies. Pew, 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 pew. Positive. Do. Y'all, I need to sit up. All right, let's see. What's this? No, it's not gonna work. For some reason, we gotta restart it and shit sometimes. Refresh is what I mean. My SoundCloud. Right now I'm on the popular tracks. Yo, shout out to all my followers. Please follow me on SoundCloud. I know it's kind of an old thing. But if you get bored and you just want to listen to something random, some good hip hop, go to SoundCloud. Catch me on it. Ooh, let's see this one plays. Yeah. That bomb got me. See that bomb got me in another world, in another world, in another world. That bomb got me in another world, in another world, in another world. That bomb got me. Yo, shout out to Louis P. Louis Beats, Mr. Puente, man. He made all those beats for my throwback tracks that I made like about 10 years ago. My early 20s. I'm in my early 30s now, in case you're gonna know. Yeah, he's a good dude. I heard his little brother's making beats now. His sister's I want to say an accountant, and I don't really see them or talk to them anymore, but shout out to them because they're a very important part of my life. And their dad as well. Shout out to Sleepy J. Check out the Sleep Talking podcast on Spotify with Sleep-E-J. Because he sleeps a lot, that's why his name is that. And then E.J. Velio Jr. Shout out to his pops in heaven. Alright. Let's get back to it. Let me just wrap this up. We got a lot of shit to do today, right? I know. Okay, so the United States Atomic Energy Commission, a proceeding that explored the background actions and associations of J. Robert Oppenheimer. That name sounds pretty Nazi-ish. The American scientist who headed, I'm sorry, he might not have been Nazi, who headed the Los Alamos laboratory during World War II, where he played, and I underline played because it was a synchronicity. And when I think I was listening to the Joey Diaz podcast with Ryan Sickler, where Joey Diaz is talking about his life. Shout out to Joey because he's leaving LA. He's going back to Jersey. He's starting a new podcast without Lee Syed, which is kind of sad, but changes. People have changes. We all change. And he's already did like 800 episodes. So, let's see. So he played this guy. Sorry, I keep going off. Sorry. He played a major role, a key part in the Manhattan Project, which, if you know, that's the creation of the atomic bomb. Just threw my pen. The hearing resulted. Now check this out. To those who are truly awakened to the QAnon mission. The hearing resulted in Oppenheimer's Q clearance being revoked. Q. Look at that Q through my finger and that peace sign. And I was like, what's that? So, but let me continue. Doubts of his loyalty dated to the 30s. He was a member of numerous Communist Front organizations and was associated with Communist Party OSA. I don't know what I wrote. Members, Communist Party USA members along with his. I wrote along in cursive, but it looks like dong, with his wife and brother. I wrote bro, but I mean brother. Q clearance. So let's see, what is Q clearance? If those who know about QAnon, because a conspiracy theory is a fact, what is it? So shout out to the Gypsum that I will get to the very end. I'm sorry, Gypsum, for taking so long. Q clearance. Q access authorization is the Department of Energy Security clearance required to access top secret restricted data or data, formerly restricted data and national security info, as well as secret restricted data at Q. A Q clearance is equal to a U.S. Department of Defense top secret clearance. Q clearance is igual to the U.S. Department of Defense top secret clearance. Shout out to QAnon, which Wikipedia calls it a conspiracy theory surrounding an anonymous poster claiming to have Q clearance. I had no idea why it was called Q. I've been following Q shit for a minute. What a great way to end the podcast. Okay. So that was my recap of Timeless Season 1, Episode 3. And I will now talk about the Crystal of the Week, Gypsum. I'm sending out positive gypsum energy to you guys. So it said, and I got this from ravencrystals.com, RAVEN crystals.com. Shout out to them. So apparently it's good for all chakras. Vibrate. I wrote all this down, but I'm gonna say it in a more interesting way. Vibrates to number 2 chakra. The zodiac is Aries. Its characteristics are grounding and innovative. It's grounding, like for yourself, and also innovative ideas. Scientifically, it comes from the Greek word meaning chalk or plaster, because they used to also use this for like building and shit like that. I wonder if it works as chalk. Oh, it pretty much kind of does. Let me see if it. There was one I used on outside. I'm not sure if this was this one, but I'm not outside to do it. Attributes. Metaphysically, gypsum may be helpful in the elimination of feelings of being stuck and mired down with stagnant energy and perceived obstacles. Procrastination, gone. I wrote this weird. Gypsum is a supportive energy base for character growth and personal improvement. So I'm going back to work Friday after months off, and it's going to give me anxiety, but I think this gypsum is going to be real helpful for me. It creates mental calming and an understanding of thoughts so one may move forward with focus and clarity. I got these were like given to me, so they had little stickers with numbers, but also I just wrote on it gypsum. So that's why there's like something on it. It sets an energetic foundation for creativity and innovative use of materials. So artists, gypsum, get some. Healing. Gypsum fosters energetic support for bone strength and growth. Gypsum may be useful for improving the elasticity of skin and tissue. Y'all need to start working out again. This pandy got me looking like a pandy. This pandemic got me looking like a panda. Pandy. Shout out to Bobby Lee, calling the pandemic suggestions of use, and I didn't really understand this, but I wanted to share it with y'all. Maybe y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not too crazy. It's just, all right, let me read it. In crystal body layouts, I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's when you lay out and put crystals on your body, or healing grids, gypsum provides grounding. I need to look up what grounding is. Just because I'm curious. Grounding definition. Okay. Grounding, also called earthing. So this is the different kind of grounding when you walk on the grounds barefoot, which I like to do. I like to take care of my grass as much as I can in an affordable amount because water is expensive. But you try to step on clean parts. Therapeutic technique that involves doing activities that ground or electrically reconnect you to earth. So I guess gypsum helps you reconnect to earth as well. This practice relies on earthing science and grounding physics to explain how electrical charges from the earth can have positive effects on your body. Electrical charges. What is grounding therapy? Grounding is a practice that can help you pull away from flashbacks, unwanted memories, and negative or challenging emotions. These techniques may help distract you from what you're experiencing and refocus on what's happening in the present moment. Grounding techniques, 30 techniques for anxiety, PTSD, and more. Okay. These are all great definitions, but grounding crystal definition. Boom. That's how you Google. I'm not the best Googling. Shout out to Jamie. So they are powerful for grounding your energy. Whatever. Grounding. I think it just, you know, it sounds like, okay, I'm just gonna say what it sounds like to me. Grounding to me sounds like you become more level-headed, right? Instead of your head in the clouds, you become like grounded, like you think more clearly. But then it's also saying that it's like it's electrical, and we are like basically electrical currents, light, stardust. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so provides ground. Gypsum unblocks meridians and energetic pathways. I guess I should have just read that. Sorry guys. For Gaia healing, GAIA, which I'm not sure what that is, but I can look it up later. Create a medicine wheel, which I'm imagining is a circle with crystals, and use a piece of gypsum. It is said that gypsum brings together and synthesizes the energies of the 4 directions and connects with Mother Earth and Father Sky. Shout out to Gypsum. Shout out to ravencrystals.com. Thank you guys for tuning in to a special episode. I don't know why it's special. Every episode is special. Life is special, y'all. Positive frequency, positive vibes. Love yourselves, please. Let's end on a chill track if we can. And I'll smoke one more. I'll just smoke the rest of what's in these. Y'all can do that with me if y'all want.
R.I.P. DJ Brew and R.I.P. PC. Yeah.
Sipping on some lean, smoking in the good. I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck.
Growing up a young kid, I never gave a fuck as fuck, so I'm steady getting high cause I'm so.
Sipping on some lean, smoking in the good. Sipping on some lean, I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, it's my cousin.
My cup, yeah, I'm sipping codeine. People hating cause I'm stacking my green. Always 40 my dicky gene. I'm fucking on chronic drinking. I'm hypnotic. Hit that much is when my voice
Up at motherfucking Sonic.
my flow's hippie.
Beyond it.
Ain't no justice.
Ain't no peace.
Fuck the police.
Yo, this dude be singing too, Spanish songs.
Next to me, and she wanted my
Ecstasy.
we started
Noe Medina.
Hennessy.
take it easy.
Listen for your boy, know we educate.
Cheesy.
My flows off the
Dang.
hang, my girl Mary
Jane.
Pop a bar to feel the buzz,
Not to kill the pain.
Chip a dime while sipping corn.
Wet line.
Homie get lean
In my cup.
Fill it to the top, if I spill it, bitch, get them off. Save as much as you can, cause the syrup that I got can't do up that motherfucking hot.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in on this special edition episode. Because of 15, and 15 is a cool number, and every day is special. You are special, and I'm special, and love yourself. And thank you for sending love to me. Thank you for watching. Catch me on Instagram, Chris Chaos 420, Twitter, Chris Chaos 420, SoundCloud, Chris Chaos, no 420. I need to add 420. I like that number on shit. Okay, shout out to the Odd Pod. Go to the Odd Pods page, channel on YouTube. Episode 25 is a special episode that's up as well. I don't know, in school I always like 5, 5 times 3, 5 times 5. Also, shout out to Romo for fucking finally. He's a busy man. We all are. But he uploaded. We've uploaded the High Historian episode 1, where he goes into imperial history. And if you're really high, it's only like 20 minutes long. If you're high or sober, just check it out. Show some love. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to this channel. Share, like, love, peace, happiness, boom, frequencies, positive. Bye, y'all.